So I'm testing my golem behavior, and I started the village here. I just worked on the flatlands for now. I'm going to add conditions where the golem, tries to walk past like cliffs or things like this where it won't fall off. Is going to be my next thing to check. And that was weird. It's like rendered strange for a second. And other things are just climbing over. So the central point of the village is right here, and these are just visuals right now. But this is part of the VillageLife mod that I'm making. And this one obviously is just to make the mechanics of the golem a lot better, because they're not, the vanilla AI is not good. It's not bad, but it's not great, I should say. If you could tell already on this that the movement for the golem is not so sporadic. It's directly to the point. And I used 5 points mainly because I figured that would be good enough for just like a set. Because if you notice after the 5 points here, what it'll do is I made it where it picks 5 more random points, and then that's its next route basically to take. So this is going to be a tricky one here. Let's see if he figures it out. Oh, okay. So yeah, if you get stuck like that for 3 seconds, then I have it go into a direction, which is just random right now, just to see if it can clear the obstacle in that direction. Well, I mean, it's kind of random. It's out of the way of where it got stuck, but it is, within the 8 blocks, it picks basically like one of the blocks to move on. But yeah, right now it's working good, at least for the flatlands and some obstacles in the middle, which have things to do with my other mod that is already up on CurseForge. And that one is for this here, which is my Village Info Plus mod. And it gives information like the golem zone, that's the spawn zone. You could figure out where the village is based on the radius. The counting box, which is something that vanilla uses inside to count how many villagers are actually affected by their spawning and breeding conditions and stuff like that, and the golem spawning. And the breed sphere itself, it's not actually a sphere, I found out. It's a cube, but it's fairly big. And this is anywhere that villagers can basically breed within the village. But if they're outside of the yellow part, then they won't count towards this here. So the green part is good to use if you want to like spawn a bunch of villagers. I think they call it villager farming or something like that. I don't know. But those are the visualizations for those. And I'm going to leave up the radius one for now. But yeah, so this is the golem testing one right now. There are other parts, there are modules, I should say, that are part of the VillageLife mod that I'm working on right now. The golem is just one of those. The other things in here are that, and I figured I'd mention these just in case, because it's part of the same mod while he's just doing his rounds. You notice that I have pressure plates down. So in regular vanilla, sometimes at night, a good example here, even though I have it on peaceful, that if they were in a house, sometimes if you have pressure plates and you like using them to go in and out of the house, they don't need to, but you would need to as a player, because they won't shut things behind you. You have to do it. With this one, I made it to where they don't like standing on the pressure plates anymore. They can get pushed on them, but at the same time, they won't spawn on them, and they try to avoid them as much as possible, at least on their own. And if there's like an open door that is nearby, that was opened up by any other of the non-hostile entities, then if they're within a few blocks of that door, notice how I opened that one, they shut it. That wasn't me shutting it. So they will try to correct those, which is good. And the other thing I added is that they will walk through doors. If they need to get in and out, they will walk over the pressure plate to activate the doors just like a player would. But they do otherwise avoid them as much as possible to keep everything closed. So the other thing that I added too was all the way up to 1.21, they don't have the ability to open gates. I don't know why they never added that, but on this one, with my VillageLife mod, one of the modules is the fact that they will open and close gates, and they do also check whether those are open or not within a certain time period, and they will close those also. So you see you have a little guy walk through the gate, and notice how they're open right now. If there's villagers that are nearby, I don't think I have the children following the rule, except for like when you saw there when they leave, but the adult ones will close the gates as best as possible automatically right now. And so, you know, you'll hear a lot of doors and stuff like that in this case, because the other part of it, sorry, I was looking at something real quick. The other part of it, the other module side is you'll hear those a lot now because I try to keep them spaced more apart. They don't stay so close together anymore. So this also balances how many villagers can actually be in an area at a specific time. So it looks a little more natural. Right now, this is as close as they will ever get, and they are only this close right now because they're trying to push away from the pressure plates. So they are kind of forcing each other in this case to want to be away from the pressure plates. They don't overlap, and you can force spawn them to overlap, but then they'll go right out of it. And here's a good example now, actually. This is where I had zombies spawning in to get the golem to spawn up. So with that spacing, I call it the personal space module. If I spawn them in here, you'll see that probably the little ones might even try to fall out or fly out. But you see how they're trying to space themselves, so they don't bundle up as much anymore. If I let this off, you know, they will want to get out because of the spacing. It's telling them basically that, hey, you're not supposed to be this close to each other. Maybe a lot of them dropping off at this point because they just don't want to be near each other. So it's a very subtle one to see. It looks like he's stuck here, actually. So this is something I might need to fix on this one. I just noticed that. So I guess he's trying to jump over this, but he's not able to. So I'll make another timer where I can log the movements, because the movements look the same. And then I can make it say, hey, if I've tried this so many times, then I'll just go another way or pick another point or something. So that'll be the next fix. And yeah, they're also, by the way, they're just turning red because of this line here. Sorry, you can't see my hand, but they're turning red because of this line here. So it's just like an overlay debug that I'm using right now. But yeah, those are the other 3 life mods that I added. So if I get rid of some of these pressure plates, you'll see they want to spread out more. And though they are really all close together right now, I'm not quite sure if it's any specific reason. but what I added was very subtle, and it was to help balance out a little bit more. I'm gonna open those doors and see if they close them eventually. It was to balance out a little bit more, just like a quality of life for the game. So that's one thing I'll probably have to add here, is not standing in doorways, because I think they're trying to close it and somebody else is trying to close it at the same time. So yeah, there's quite a bit. I'm just standing around in this area. I'm not sure why they grouped it there yet, but that might be something I'll add. But I do have, let me show you this. I do actually have, inside of that mod folder, I have a configuration. Let me go to edit and mods and look at view configs. So the VillageLife, I do have a configuration in here that allows you to set the spacing. So if I set this at 2, which is the max right now, I might as well even just show you with all of this stuff on and off. But let's go ahead and save this at 2 and rerun. I'm going to keep that file, the folder open. And let's rerun this, and then I want to show you if the spacing between the villagers change and they're not so bunched up anymore. That's a lot of villagers, by the way, for that area. So there, you might see some of them, some of the little guys fly off. I tried to do that up at the top earlier, but it didn't work out. So probably because I had it 2 blocks high. But let's see what happens. So my spacing is now set to 2. And let's see, they are in kind of panic mode right now. Yeah, it's weird how they turn red like that and look a certain way when that red line becomes visible. I think I can make them all turn red. Yeah, like something like that. Almost all of them. Yeah, the spacing on them right now probably isn't changing because I have so much going on in here. Yeah, it could be the gates that are in the way. Actually, it is. I didn't realize I had a gate right here. So yeah, they'll try to spread out more as long as things aren't blocking them. Sorry, I didn't know I had that little gate that was sitting there. That was probably making a big difference. Let's go ahead and move these out of the way too. Yeah, so that 2 distance looks better to me, honestly. I think that actually looks better. I know that I did just move it around so they can move more, but the distance here, they're still dropping from the top. The distance here, let me just push them off, is, it seems like it's more natural than the other one. So what I'm going to do is turn everything off with that. So the things that we have, and I'm sorry if this is actually too loud. I have no idea if it is. But what we're going to do is try to turn that down a bit. What was I saying? I'm going to turn everything off. And what that will do is hopefully you'll see the spacing that's different. You'll see that maybe sometimes they'll stand on pressure plates, which I should probably add more of them. This, right, if I do this, it might force them to not even go over there unless they're trying to pass through. But I am going to add some over here, like this, and just see what happens with that. Let me add a few going this way. And see how you move it away from it? So that's when it's active. I'm going to remove this one and let them be able to at least walk through there. So, I mean, this is a lot of villagers to have in that small of a space, but look at the grouping. That's very important, is they are trying to at least have a little bit more space around each other. Oh, I don't know, the second golem spawned. Could we have a second one? Oh, we could have 3 of them. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. That's my other mod. It's very helpful with setting this stuff up, so. But, yeah, let me do that. Yeah, they're just doing their own things over there. Let me do that. Turn everything off. I'm gonna allow them to step on the pressure plates. I'm gonna ignore them checking for closing the gates and the doors, unless it's the default vanilla where they open it and then they close it after they go through it. And I'm gonna also get rid of the spacing and see what that does. Let's set real quick also. Let's set this to normal and reset the time. Actually, I gotta set that back to normal again. Reset the time to where it's straight up wherever it's at. Yeah, so this is time 1000. It's like the beginning of the day. And then now I'll save that and I'll show you turning all of those off. So let's also set this to 0 just in case, because that's technically turning it off. So the personal space is nothing right now. And then we're going to say, do not avoid pressure plates. Do not enable gate opening. And let's just turn off the golem patrol just to see if that configuration is actually working. And we'll also turn off smart gate closing. And then I'll rerun this. So this is almost disabling both of the mods. And due to, I want to make sure I'm still recording. Okay. Due to the way that vanilla AI works, the villagers are actually coded pretty well. So it might take a few minutes to notice any real changes. But I tried to set up, excuse me, I tried to set up this as well as possible so that you could notice the changes. And just for testing anyways. So you see now they're standing on pressure plates. They don't care. He doesn't care that this door's open. This was an issue before when they kept opening the door and closing the door. But you'll see that they're more grouped together. And it's a little bit more chaotic. I can notice it already. And here they're standing halfway through the doors. Yeah, the gates are staying open, which is not good. They should be closing those. And I made those mainly because, like, at night, sometimes the villagers are so far out in the village that when they go, they couldn't go through gates in the first place, but let's say you left it open, or it did walk through now, they will close those now when the mod is enabled. So in this case here, it's just, I believe, mostly just strictly vanilla AI, and the golems, these are mine. These are not the Minecraft golems. I made these guys and made them just look exactly the same. So they are completely under my control, which is nice. And I needed to do that because I was fighting against the AI anyways. And I didn't know how to overwrite that without making the tick change with the move command every tick. And it didn't work that well. So I don't know if you notice here, but the grouping, it's like high school. They have groups of cliche or niches or whatever you call them. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been to high school, but yeah, they just have groups that are just, I don't know. It doesn't look as natural to me. Maybe it's fine how some other people see it, but I am going to switch it back. I'll show you what it will look like. How did they get up there? I don't even know. Oh, they probably jumped from here somehow. Like, how did they get on the command? Oh, wait. No, this was open. I forgot. Like, what? I even had to do that here for the fences so they wouldn't walk on the fence and then outside. However they were able to get on there, I don't know. But yeah. So that's that behavior. Let me stop moving around so much, that way you can kind of see. So the fence gates are staying open sometimes. The doors, they don't seem to really, technically they don't care about. The vanilla AI, like I said, they do go through and they'll open and close them. That's always been the case. I just added making sure that they double check, they do a smart check to make sure that they are closed, even if they're not the ones that opened it. So, but I don't know if it's just from, if it includes my player interaction or not. But here, like you had one go through and shut that door. This one was going to go through and decided not to do anything, I guess. But I don't know, it's just very strange and they're grouped up. So I'm going to switch it back over. And hopefully you will get to see the difference. And I'm going to make the spacing at max again, just because. And I believe the only other things I changed were these. So let's put these all back to true. And then the golems will patrol again. So this is the entire mod, the VillageLife mod. It has 2 main modules right now with 4 major quality of life improvements, which I would consider the golem a quality of life also. So that's why. And so that's good. Let's save that. And let's go back into it. And this is with the mod fully active. And then after I show you this, I'm going to work on some of the things I noticed that need improvements. And I'm trying to get all the conditions to work out. Look, they're chasing the golem. Okay, let me, hold on. I don't want my golems to die yet. Let's put this on, yeah. Let's put this on peaceful. Okay, so let's see if I don't really notice a difference too much yet, except for the spacings there. They are better grouped apart. This one I don't like. I don't know why they're so close here. Maybe I should make it 3 and see what that does. But you notice they're starting to balance out the spacing a little bit more. They're more everywhere. Which, I mean, if you don't like that, that's okay. But it's definitely one of those, it's a toggle. Did I remember I had a second golem. Is he gone? Yeah, he's gone. He must have died. Maybe slime killed him. But yeah, it's, I mean, from what I see, yeah, they do have some groupings going on. But there is noticeable more balance of their positioning overall. This is highly grouped right now. Look at this. So they must be talking to each other. Sometimes they do that when they're trying to figure out whether they want to spawn a new golem or things like that. So that's where this happens. I don't know how to access that yet to figure out what they're doing, but I am going to add probably stats for these villagers to say whether or not they're, you know, happy or scared and all of that, which will be part of probably the village info mod. I'm not sure which one I will put that in, quality of life, the VillageLife mod, or the village info mod. I don't know yet. But they do work together. I want them to work together. golem's just going nuts. So I don't have him attacking yet, just patrolling, and I do need to add obstacles. And what I mean for that is like too high and then, you know, too low to make sure that it doesn't want to like fall into a trapped area. So I'm going to be testing that next with the golem. And there he gets stuck, so that worked out. He forced out and now he's going back. So you won't see the lines, you won't see the behind, you won't see the prints and stuff. It'll just look like he's roaming more of the village than they were before. And I might even add in between the points that each time he goes back towards the middle, at least within maybe a 10 block radius or something like that, instead of just going point to point. So he'll go, let me use my mouse for a second. He'll go like from here, and he'll go inside here somewhere, and then to, you know, bounce over to the next point, then go back in here somewhere, and then to the next point. So I might add that. I don't know yet, but I need to work on the obstacle stuff first. But yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but working on the mods and noticing the differences between the spacing of the villagers, I see a difference. And quality of life mods are not really supposed to be spectacular. They're supposed to be very subtle. At least, I mean, that's what I know. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but very subtle things like not noticing that they're avoiding the trapdoors, not knowing that they are checking, you know, whether or not these fence gates have to be shut and the doors. So knowing that they can now walk through fences, which is a very nice addition, because like I said, up to 1.2.1, they have not been able to do that at all. So, oh, and I'll let you go, but I wanted to show you also, this is my village kill spot. So I can take a village and villager and put him in here, and it just automatically kills him. So you'll see 38 down to 37. Reputation might go down too, because that was me that did that. Hopefully it doesn't, but yeah, no, that's good. Reputation didn't change, so that's good. But yeah, probably because it's creative mode, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the full statistics behind all of this. I accessed everything that I could in the Minecraft API to get the information and just basically put it into the text. So yeah, a lot of good balancing here. This is a good example right here. So I'll add them not being able to do that to crops, probably with the player 2, and it'll be a configuration. You can turn it on and off. So a lot of stuff that's going to be added in here, but that's what I have so far. Just wanted to show you where I'm at. And today's date is December 15th of 2025. So the village info mod is on CurseForge. That one's up, and the VillageLife, I'm still working on the golem stuff before I get this one at least posted as a, 1.0 version. So, but yeah, if you see this, I don't have really anything on my YouTube account anymore. I'm going to be doing this stuff, and yeah, if you see this, comment on it, let me know what you think so far, if you have any ideas for the mods, and I'll try to put them in there. So, all right, we'll see you guys later.